Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and guess what? We're discussing Tennessee football because they're playing Ohio State next week. And yes, I've been busy recently, so my recording has been very limited. So it's mostly just weekend stuff. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying my best, but my plate is full. Christmas break will help this out. But talking about the game of the first round, there's a reason why this is the night game. There's a reason why this is on prime time. There's a reason why people will look at this game and say, "I want to watch this more than anyone else." Tennessee going up to Columbus to play the Buckeyes. And this game is going to be very, very interesting to just see how this plays out. Ohio State historically is not good against SEC teams at the idea of winning against them. But this is the first time Tennessee's ever been in a playoff ever since this format's been brought out since 2014. This is like Ohio State's like sixth or seventh time. They are really familiar to this, especially compared to us Vols. But when you look at the trajectory of these two teams, Tennessee's more on the up right now, and you can clearly tell Ohio State is in a weird point, especially after what happened against Michigan. Very weird. Ryan Day's been very good outside of playing Michigan, but Josh Heupel's also been pretty good in big games outside of Georgia. So stuff like that also matters too. This is huge for Ryan Day. Ryan Day has to win this game. He has to win this game. I don't know what happens if he doesn't. He might be gone because that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for Ohio State from going from an Urban Meyer guy who was consistently in the playoff, consistently high seeds, consistently right there for the championship, to losing to a Tennessee team that hasn't made a playoff ever, hasn't been this relevant since probably 2002. Like, there's a big difference in that, and Ohio State fans, after what happened to Michigan, would not want to see this. And the problem with right now is that they're playing against the number one pass rush in the country. I know if you watch that game against Georgia, it doesn't look like that. Trust me, this is going to be a problem for Ohio State. They can get after the quarterback. Tennessee can get after that team. And with what Howard would happen against Michigan, if you want to play a physical style of football, go on ahead. We have the SEC Player of the Year in Tennessee's backfield, and we have the best defense in the SEC for Tennessee. We've only allowed, the defense specifically has only allowed one team in the entire schedule to get over 20 points. You might say, what about Vandy? That was a kick six. That was a kick return. The defense allowed 17 points, not 23 for what it says. No, that's a special team's job. But let's continue. Tennessee defense has been very good this year. Jermod McCoy, Boo Carter, all of them boys playing really well secondary-wise. We'll have to lock up Emeka Egbuka, who's not been a big name this year, and Jeremiah Smith. Both were very much unexistent in the game against Michigan. Michigan laid out a prototype if you want to beat this team. And Tennessee's just a better version of it. You want to run the ball? Okay, cool. We have the SEC Player of the Year, who's the second best running back in the country right now. You need a guy who can throw the ball. Davis Warren had like 2 interceptions and 60 yards. Nico Iamaleava come off a game against Vanderbilt. He had 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards. The guy's pretty good, and he's hitting his stride at the right time. They just hadn't needed the big plays, and he's not really hit them, but they've not been that open. He's going to have to hit some, but control the clock. And it's going to be weird for Tennessee to have to do that, because you say control the clock, but this is a fast-paced team. This team averages like every 25 seconds a snap. That's tough to control the clock. But you watch those games against I would say like a Vandy, most recent team. You can see how they can do it. It's just 12, 14 play drives that take about 5 minutes. That's a lot of time. You can take them on the clock of it. If you get the ball up by 4 or 10 minutes ago, and you leave with 5 minutes to go in the game and it's an 11-point game, that's huge. That's controlling the clock right there. It's just not as much as you might say a Michigan would. A typical Big Ten team would. That's what I'm happy to say. So that, by the way, my throat's been bothering me, so yeah. Anyways, Tennessee's offensive line's got to hold up very well today. In this game, they have a really good, Ohio State can get after the quarterback. Their defense is pretty good themselves. They only really allowed Oregon to go crazy, and Oregon's the best team in the country right now, so that's not, and that was at Oregon too, and so that's tough. That's a tall task. This rush defense for Tennessee, too, they got to do a really good job. The pass rush defense, the defensive line in general has to play out of their mind, and that's definitely possible. Will Howard will give them opportunities. Will Howard will give them chances. With a defense like this Tennessee has, they will have chances. And what they got to do is, like, Max Gilbert's got to make his field goals. When they have opportunities to score, make sure you do it. If it's 3 or 7, does not matter. Take the points. The offensive line's got to hold up. That means no more false starts. Nothing that stupid. No more of these illegal formations. Nothing of that nature. We can't have that. Because I remember there was an expression on point, and I think it was basketball. You have to win by 15 to win by 1. That's usually, like, if you go into a tough environment in a big game, you have to win by a certain amount, like, hypothetically, to actually win by like this. It's going to have to do that. Just going to have to outbeat them by 2 touchdowns and win by 3, type of thing. And I think they can. I really do think they can. The environment's going to make a difference, but if any fan base is going to rush a stadium, it's going to be Tennessee fans. They will have that a lot more oranged out than you might expect. If you don't believe me, first of all, why not? It's me, believe me. Second of all, watch the game at LSU 2 years ago. That was so stupid what happened that year. But just watch that. By the third quarter, Rocky Top was chanted over everything. And that was in Death Valley. That was in LSU. And there's a whole other thing I argue about that year, how dumb the rankings were. Heading into the last week of that year, LSU was 5th in the country, and we were 10th, and we had the same record. It was so... And that's something different, but that was so stupid. I just wanted to say that. And we were behind Bama, too. It's like, what the hell? What's that make sense? But, anyways, back to what we're talking about. Tennessee. I'm rooting for them hard in this game. I believe we have a good chance. Ohio State's defense is also very, very good. They have a very good run game, and they can hit the big plays. Could they bounce back? Yes. When they lost to Michigan last time at home, they played their best game of the year against Georgia. They dropped 40 on them. Granted, they don't have a Marvin Harrison Jr., and they definitely don't have a C.J. Stroud. I'm hoping Nick Enemkpali brings his A game. He's the only freshman quarterback in this entire playoff. Dylan Sampson cannot fumble, which is a routine they're doing. And we need these guys back healthy. Brute McCoy, we need you healthy. Squirrel White, we need you healthy. Dylan Sampson, we need you healthy. We need you healthy. Desperately, this game. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. If I had to give a score prediction, I would say 24-20. Give me the Vols. Why not? Give me the Vols. This is a tough playoff run no matter what. But I don't trust Will Howard. And frankly, I trust Nico more than Will Howard. You look at the clutch times he had this year. He fumbled in the end zone against Penn State. He had a very bad slide against Oregon. He threw some very bad interceptions against Michigan. The guy's not a clutch player at Ohio State in big moments. Those are the 3 biggest games of the year. And he has a very memorable moment of him doing bad. Michigan, until the last drive, had 6 yards total on scoring drives. 6 yards. That's bad. And they had 10 points. That's all they really needed. I bet because the crowd's going to quickly turn on Ohio State. If you can hit him in the mouth early, it's different than having it happen with Georgia. Again, if I still believe if James Pierce doesn't jump off sides and they get that 40-yard play off of it, we probably are winning the first half at least. And maybe the entire game. That was a big momentum thing. But that's different. Georgia fans will ride no matter what because they have a reason to. They've seen their teams come back from crazy stuff. Ryan Day's teams don't. They don't come back from crazy deficits. They got to stay ahead on you. And they don't. And they're not the best clutch teams either. Especially in big moments. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this game heavily. Ryan Day has a lot of pressure. Josh Heupel's under none. Let's go out and ball, man. It's Josh Heupel. Let's go do it. We're not a great road team. We're really not. But for anyone trying to say the cold's going to mean anything, it's not. You know how cold it is up in Tennessee right now? It snowed not too long ago. I'm in south part of Tennessee. It's sleet. Like, it's not, like, I'm not saying it's like in the negatives, but like, it's not as warm. It's not like Florida, bro. It's a very big difference. It's the mountains, man. Like, it's a difference. But the crowd's going to turn on Ohio State way quicker than you might expect. They were booing in the third off of those missed kicks and bad play calls. Match what happens if they're down 13-0 against the Tennessee team and they keep getting these bad play calls from Chip Kelly. What's going to happen then? They're going to hate him. They're going to turn on it, and Tennessee's going to take that and ride with it. I'm expecting something like that to happen. I expect a late push from Ohio State that's stopped late by Tennessee. Let's go, Vols. Hope you have a great day, y'all. Stay safe. Put in the comments your own opinions, and remember, God bless y'all.